guys, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't already met, then my name is Ash and I'm a mum of 2 kids. I've got Charlie who is 14 weeks old and Ella who will be 2 at the end of this month. My videos are all about parenting and lifestyle and some beauty stuff as well, so if you haven't already then please hit subscribe and stick along for more videos in the future. So I'm just going to chat about my journey and how we are doing so far with our breastfeeding, because Charlie is 14 weeks old soon and we are now over that hurdle, and I would like to just chat through how we've got here and just let you guys know how things have been. First of all, I need to say, if you see any hands coming up from here, it's because Charlie is very aptly having a feed just now, so he is struggling at the moment to keep up with the flow, so you might hear a few little funny noises. Let's just start off with the very beginning. When Charlie was born, he basically was delivered right onto my chest and latched on pretty much straight away, and he was there for about, it felt like about an hour. Like obviously at that point I was still all kind of drowsy from the gas and air, but he fed for so long and the midwives kept coming in and asking when was I going to go for my shower. Oh no, did you lose your place? Yeah, the midwife came in and said, when are you going to go for your shower and get yourself cleaned up? And I was kind of dictated to by the fact that Charlie was still having a feed at this point, and like I say, it felt like it lasted for about an hour. He was there for ages. Now obviously in the early days it's just pure colostrum, so it wasn't as if he was getting loads and loads of milk, it was more for a kind of comfort thing. So yeah, he was on there for ages and had no issues latching on whatsoever, so I was really lucky in that respect. For the next few days he then cluster fed as the babies normally do, so that your milk comes in, and obviously that was really tough going at the time because it kind of restricts you in what you can do, because you're kind of just bound to this baby with you all the time. For the early days that was a little bit sore. It's completely normal. I hate when people say that if you feel any pain and discomfort when you're breastfeeding that you're not doing it right, because that is not the case. This is an area of your body that is not normally exposed like your hands are or your face, so it's really sensitive, and to have constant abrasion on it is obviously going to be a little bit sore. So yeah, the first few days it was a bit nippy, but I just used this Lancino lanolin nipple cream, which you don't have to wipe off when you use it. It's really good. It's quite expensive, it's about £10, but it's totally worth its weight in gold because it really helps in those early days. After that I just thought things were going really well. Charlie was thriving really well. I had the engorgement in the morning when I was waking up where the milk had just come in and I felt like Pamela Anderson. Honestly, my boobs were just massive, and that was fine because I knew that I was making loads of milk for him, which is really fab. But at that point it was then getting to the stage where I was feeling a little bit fluey and just wasn't feeling quite right. Like I already said, I have got a daughter, Ella, who will be 2 at the end of this month, and I also breastfed her as well, and I had a similar experience with her where I was feeling really fluey and unwell and just generally sore and achy, basically just flu symptoms. And then when I spoke to my midwife, she said that I might have mastitis. What is wrong? Are you complaining? That's also another myth, by the way, that a breastfed baby does not get wind, because Charlie gets wind all the time. I felt these kind of flu-like symptoms and I knew something wasn't right because it happened before. And I spoke to the midwife and she said, I think you might have mastitis. So mastitis being a block in your milk duct, it's basically from your breast not being drained enough when your baby is feeding, or you might just be really engorged and have loads of milk in the early stages while your body adjusts to realise how much your baby actually needs. So all of these teething stages can cause problems, and that's obviously when I developed mastitis. It was horrific. I was in my bed for like 2 days, really fluey, my temperature was sky high, and also the worst part about this is your boobs are really sore and you also still need to feed through it. It's basically the only way to get rid of it is to actually clear that milk blockage, and the best way to clear the blockage is by having them feed on it. So that wasn't very pleasant, and I thought that it was really sore. That was on my right side, which was the same side that I had on with Ella as well. Excuse you. I had mastitis and it was really painful, and I was actually quite annoyed because I thought, why have I got this? I feel like I'm breastfeeding really well, and also I'm wearing the correct fitting bras and stuff. Why have I got mastitis again? I kind of feel like a bit of a failure. But once that cleared, things were good for another few weeks. Charlie was putting on loads of weight. He didn't really lose anything at all. He was just so greedy and feeding all the time. I also felt like Charlie really liked feeding on the left side more than the right. So fast forward a few weeks, and with that still being the case that he likes to feed on the left more than the right, I then developed mastitis for a second time, which was again horrific. I actually at this point thought I might just have to give up breastfeeding altogether because I wasn't enjoying it. It was getting to the stage where I was thinking I must be doing it wrong if I'm getting mastitis all the time. I then got treated with antibiotics, and when I was clearing the blockage I actually used my Medalist Swing Double, which is basically 2 electric breast pumps you can use on each side. I feel like a bit of a farm animal when I've got it on, but it's really good, and it helps to really pull your milk out of your boobs when you want to express some. It's a really good electric breast pump. If anyone's interested in getting one, I would definitely recommend investing in one of those. I tried a manual pump and it was rubbish. It really didn't work for me, but the electric pump is really good and I've had nothing but good experience using it. So that kind of saved me for the other time when I had mastitis, because it was too sore to feed on the side that was infected, so I just used to express on this side and then feed on the left side. And then my health visitor came out to visit us around 6 weeks to ask how things were going, and I just explained to her that I had mastitis, this is what my right boob looks like, and her face was a picture because she couldn't believe the abrasion and the sort of graze that I had on my nipple. I'm sorry if this is too much information, but I think it's good to just bear all and tell you guys exactly what it's like, because it's not easy. I had this huge abrasion and it was really sore. It was literally like a huge big carpet burn. That's exactly what it was like on my nipple. It was really sore, and again having to feed Charlie on that was just too much, so I was having to express then feed, express then feed, and it was just getting a bit of a nightmare. The convenience factor of breastfeeding was totally taken away from me, and I was now just starting to think, well, I just go on to feeding them a bottle, which by the way, I am not a breast is best kind of person. I think fed is best, but at this point I was really enjoying breastfeeding and I kind of felt as if that had been taken away from me just for no reason at all. So I really wanted to get back to the stage of enjoying it and having a nice close bond with Charlie. I think that must have just been a little starter that he was having, because he's now back on again. Once he's broke wind, he likes to go back down again for another little go. Once the health visitor came out to see me, she actually asked me if I'm just solely feeding on one side, which I said yes, obviously, because this other side's really sore and I'm expressing off of it. And then she suggested, why don't I just feed on one side, which I thought was a bit interesting. I didn't realise that you could actually do that. So right now what I'm doing is I have been feeding Charlie just on this side here, which is the most natural position for me to hold him in. So I don't know if it's a combination of a poor latch because I'm not holding him right on the right side, and that's why I kept getting mastitis on this side, but he just really seems to prefer this side, and I also prefer him feeding on this side too. So after a few weeks we just kept it going on the left side and things were going really well. I was worried that I was going to end up having to stop because this side would just go defunct, which it did. I stopped producing milk on the right side and it was just on the left, and I was really worried that Charlie wasn't going to put on weight because it's a lot of pressure to put on just one boob to feed this baby all the time, but it can't be any different from if you've got twins and you're breastfeeding. So that's the kind of logic I went with, and we were fine. Oh, you stink! Is that what's wrong with you, Pimpy? Is that what's wrong with you? I now don't have any milk on the other side, although if I wanted to I could try to start building it up by just letting him suckle on it and just try to stimulate the milk to come back again. But at the moment I don't really feel like I want to do that. I'm quite happy with how things are going. I don't even need to make an effort to get him to latch on anymore. I basically just put him to the breast and he just opens his mouth and goes right on his own. He's so clever and knows how to do it already on his own, and he's only 14 weeks old, which I think is quite impressive. He's quite a clever cookie and things are just going a bit better for us now. I felt like at that stage, that must have been about 5 weeks that we just started feeding on one side, and a week later it was like my breakthrough week. You know, everyone talks about how it's difficult at the start of breastfeeding, but to just keep pushing because one week it'll just all click and you have a breakthrough week, and from then it just gets easier. My breakthrough week was week 6, and from then it has just been an absolute dream. It's been so easy to breastfeed, and at this point I just kind of feel like I don't want to stop. The only thing that might be a bit of an issue is that Fraser and I go away for a few days on holiday to our friend's wedding and the kids aren't coming with us, and I hope that during that time I will be able to just express some of my milk and then dump it, and then he can get fed some formula while he's here, and then we can return to business as usual when I come home. But we'll soon see if that is is the case. I really hope that we can continue to do it for as long as we can. You're just doing really well, and I just love that feeling of cuddling in and having a little snuggle with him for a few points in the day. There's no issues with his size. I mean, come on, look at the size of you. You are just a big chunk, aren't you? You're just a big beauty boy. The only times when breastfeeding can be really difficult for me is when Charlie is going through a growth spurt. They tend to do this after 7 days, usually about 7 to 10 days after birth. Then they do it at 4 weeks, and then they do it again every kind of 4 weeks up until they're 6 months. And yeah, it does restrict you. He picks his moments. It's usually when I've got something on and he just wants to feed like every hour for maybe a full day. The only time I feel that really tests me is during the night, because I'm up a few times. But apart from that, he only gets up once during the night. If he was on formula, he probably would sleep through, because formula is heavier on his tummy. So I think that's the only reason why he doesn't sleep through, is because the breast milk is quite light and he needs a little top up during the night, don't you? I also feel so much more confident breastfeeding this time. It's just, it shouldn't be an issue. I don't know why people make it out as if it's this really seedy, horrible thing, and that, you know, it's something you shouldn't do in public or whatever, because it's totally normal. It's completely natural. If you've got an issue with my breastfeeding, you've obviously been staring for far too long. What I tend to do when I go out is I use this breastfeeding cover. It's like a little apron. You just pop it over your head, and it's got a bones part at the front so I can see in but nobody else can see through it, and it's really handy for when I'm out and about and just want to cover up a little bit more. Not that I'm saying you do need to cover up. Obviously this is 2017, like, people just need to go over it. A boob is a boob. It's not right that we can see them in a magazine, but if someone's feeding their kid, it's wrong. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it at all. It actually makes me think that humans are stupid, that they think it's offensive. Like, seriously, get over yourself. Anyway, rant over. I tend to cover up just when I'm in front of family and stuff. I don't want to make anyone feel awkward that I'm exposing myself, but equally if I didn't have anything, then there's ways that you can do it discreetly, and I'm planning on doing a whole video on breastfeeding friendly fashion that I've been wearing since I've had Charlie, because obviously your choices are very limited when you are breastfeeding. It's not like you can just wear a dress. You've got to make sure things can open at the front, or they're low enough to get your boob out, or whatever. Yeah, I'm planning on doing a whole video on that soon, so please stay tuned and make sure you are subscribed for that in the future. But I'm just kind of looking at the time here. I've been chatting for quite a while. Poor Charlie's gums are killing him because he is teething. Don't think he's hungry, because honestly he has been feeding forever. It sometimes looks as if he's hungry when he's doing this, as if he's searching, but really he's just trying to bite something because his gums are killing. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. Please, if you've got any questions about anything, just leave them in the comments box. I always get back to all the comments, and if you've got any other questions, then you can feel free to DM me on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. I'm always there to answer any questions that you guys have. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs up if you think this little guy's cute. So thanks so much for watching guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!